Dear brothers and sisters, the story I'm about to share with you is truly extraordinary and emotional, and most importantly, it really happened. It was a Saturday morning like many others, but for Jimena, a 16-year-old pilgrim from Madrid, that day would become a turning point in her life. The sun shone high in the sky over Lisbon, and the air was charged with an electric energy. Thousands of young people from around the world had gathered in the Portuguese capital for World Youth Day, an event that would unite cultures, languages, and most of all, faiths. Jimena had arrived in Portugal with a group of 300 girls, all hoping to experience a week of prayer, reflection, and spiritual growth. But for Jimena, World Youth Day held an even deeper meaning. For 2 years, she had been suffering from a rare and debilitating eye condition called spasm of accommodation, which had reduced her vision to a mere 5%. Medical treatments, increasingly unbearable, seemed to offer no solution. Her family had even begun reaching out to organizations for the visually impaired, and Jimena was learning Braille. Yet deep down, Jimena had not lost hope. She had been praying incessantly for a miracle. And that Saturday, during Mass at the Church of Nuestra Señora de la Luz in Évora de Alcobaça, a Portuguese village about an hour and a half from Lisbon, her miracle happened. In the Church of Nuestra Señora de la Luz, the atmosphere was thick with mystical solemnity. Candles flickered gently, as if participating in the collective prayer. Jimena was there, sitting on one of the creaky wooden pews, her heart pounding with an anticipation she couldn't explain. It was as if every fiber of her being sensed that something extraordinary was about to happen. She had heard an inner voice in the preceding days, a voice whispering not to lose hope. It was a feeling she couldn't ignore, a conviction that transcended logic and reason. She was asking for light to show her what to do, her father Gustavo would later recount. And that light, that inner guidance, told her the moment for a miracle was near. As the priest elevated the host during consecration, Jimena felt a chill run down her spine. It was a chill of recognition, as though every prayer she had ever uttered was converging in that single moment. She closed her eyes, as if to shut out the external world and focus solely on her connection with God. Her hands were clasped in prayer, and her lips whispered words of faith and hope. When she stood to receive communion, her heart was pounding like a drum. She was nervous, yes, but it was a nervousness tinged with almost euphoric expectation. "I was very nervous," she would later say, "and when I sat back down on the pew, I began to cry. I didn't want to open my eyes." But when she finally did open her eyes, the world around her had changed. Or perhaps she was the one who had changed. I was overwhelmed, and when I opened them, I could see everything very clearly. I saw the altar, the tabernacle. I had a friend beside me, and I saw her perfectly, and we both began to cry. It was as if the gates of heaven had flung open, flooding her life with light and possibility. Her conviction, that inner voice that had spoken to her in the preceding days, had manifested in a way that exceeded all her expectations. It was a miracle. There was no other explanation. And as tears of joy streamed down her face, she knew that her life, and the lives of those who loved her, would forever be marked by this moment of divine grace. Gustavo, Jimena's father, was incredulous when he received the phone call from his daughter. I can see, Jimena exclaimed on the phone, her voice trembling with emotion. Gustavo, a man of faith yet always grounded in reality, couldn't believe what he was hearing. My daughter has changed. When I saw her, she seemed even more beautiful. Her smile, her face. What happened to her has transformed her, he recounts with a mix of awe and gratitude. News of Jimena's inexplicable healing spread like wildfire, igniting a debate over what truly constitutes a miracle. But for Jimena's family, the matter was simple. It was an act of God, a tangible manifestation of the faith they had always upheld. Now we even get messages from people in Africa who were praying for her, says Gustavo, his voice filled with emotion. I can't tell you how this is possible, but my daughter was sure she would be healed. She was asking for light to show her what to do. What happened to her, I consider it a miracle of faith. While the world eagerly awaits medical reports and ecclesiastical assessments to confirm whether what happened to Jimena is indeed a miracle for her and her family, the answer is already clear. Faith has been their guide, their light in the darkness, and now that light has illuminated their path, bringing hope and healing when all seemed lost. Jimena's story is more than just a tale of physical healing. It's a testament to the transformative power of faith. It's a story that reminds us that even in the darkest moments, the light of hope can still shine through, and that miracles, big or small, are still possible for those who believe. The story was reported by Avenir, an Italian Catholic daily, and has garnered significant interest in both the media and religious communities. But for Jimena and her family, the real story is one of unconditional faith that has brought light in the darkest moment and will continue to guide them for the rest of their lives. And so, as the sun sets over Lisbon and the young pilgrims prepare to return to their homes, carrying with them the experiences and lessons learned during World Youth Day, Jimena looks up at the sky, her eyes once again capable of seeing the beauty of the world surrounding her. At that moment, she knows her life will never be the same again. The miracle received by Jimena is extraordinary and moving. Let us know what you think, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel to not miss any new videos and to become part of this community of faith and prayer. God bless you.